Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. Speaking of let me do your hair, it's a 154 episodes in. Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl Ladosha, right? AKA Key Lolo. And yo, check this out. This is the podcast. You guys gonna be like, oh, it's about some time. Y'all started talking about them techniques because the hair oracle and I, there she is over there. There she is, Cheryl Morrow, the hair oracle she's in the Heezy. And so tonight it's going down. We're talking about, the good stuff, it's about styling techniques in the natural hair movement. What has the natural hair movement taught you about shampooing and blow drying and all this, all this good stuff? This stuff is really, 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 really important. And so we just thought, this would be, pretty cool to discuss. But anywho, before we hop into it, Cheryl, what's happening over in your neck of the woods?
Oh my God! Get overcast. We got overcast. Beautiful. We got, it's been a little rainy, a little cold. Not y'all's cold.
Not, yeah. We know how y'all do. Y'all like, oh my God, it's so cold outside. It's so cold outside. But it's it's Cinco today. What's cold to y'all? Well, cold to us is like 32. We like it's got to be freezing in Cleveland. But it's Cinco de Mayo, so we ain't got no Cinco and no de Mayo going on. Isn't this the day that all the good stuff is just no?
And we got come on. I know. We so close to Mexico. I know
y'all got something, don't y'all?
I don't know.
You don't know.
If we do, I don't know.
You don't know. Well, this has been, I haven't checked the news to see, what's going on, but I can share with you guys some good news. Sure. Anything happening over in the news? I went to a class this morning. I want to brag about that.
Techniques.
I do. I want to brag about, so nothing is happening over in your neck of the woods, you say, correct?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happening. I mean, nothing.
That's a good thing.
I mean, well, San Diego, that's the Spazzotti Wadi. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody wants to go to San Diego. Okay. So she says nothing happening. I haven't followed anything. Number Idiot 45. Has he been doing anything? I missed that one. I haven't seen anything about that one either. So I don't know.
Well, you missed a lot, but you ain't trying to hear it.
I ain't trying to hear it. All right. So, so we're going to skip number 45 today. All right. We ain't gonna worry about it. But if I can talk about, now this is really important. Now remember, if this is your first time, welcome to the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. So this is the channel where we actually have two cool podcasts. So tonight is we come live, of course, at 6 o'clock, depending on where you're at. 3 if you're on the West Coast, 6 if you're on the East Coast. And this particular podcast is geared towards the public. And so what we do here is we talk about the dumbest. And we do mean the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I'm also a Farmisi certified master colorist. And Cheryl, she is a cosmetic trichologist, okay? And so we actually use this thing called trichology, which is the science of scalp and hair, to help debunk a lot of these crazy myths and practices that's costing you Y'all know who y'all be. Y'all can spend all this money. We don't want you wasting money. We don't want you wasting time on your hair. So our goal is to really help you save money, save time, and be more practical. Because this natural hair movement, actually the beauty and barber industry, to me, it's been under attack since this natural hair thing has just been getting out of control. And so it matters to us a lot because we're seeing so many people spend so much money. They're wasting so much time. And guess what? They still don't like they dang on hair. And that bothers us. So this is why we have this podcast. And so it's very dear to our heart. When you come on Thursdays, we actually have professionals. That's over on Planet Pluto Pseudo. And so over there, we're bold. We're even addressing the nonsense that's creeping its way into the lexicon, the practice, and even some laws and some tests in the professional world of hair, skin, and nails. And we do that with wonderful guests. And that's all with the intent to replace the myths and disinformation with the proper information, and then tell the professionals where they can go to get more education from credible people. Because I know y'all might find this hard to believe, but me and Cheryl are not. I know y'all find it sad, Trish. I know y'all find it hard to believe, but us is not the only ones. And so today was a perfect example of we're not the only ones. So I'm just going to find this picture. His name is Patrick Bradley. Now, remember, this particular podcast is for the consumer, but if you have a hairstylist, and professionals also come over here, ain't that right, Cheryl?
They do.
Yeah, so you might be a hairstylist and you're just rocking it out with us, or an aspiring one. Maybe you're in school. But today, my colleague Kendra, she colors my hair. We drove over to Detroit, Detroit, last night, and we hung out with some of our friends and colleagues in the industry. And so we went to this class by this gentleman here. I'm going to bring him up. His name is Patrick Bradley. This is Patrick with a C. There is no K at the end of his name. He is on all of the social media platforms, okay? And so absolutely phenomenal. So I'm not going to drag y'all through the whole class, but what I'm going to tell you about the class that I really, really liked. Number one, he gave a refresher. So if you were new or you're already good at this, it was nice to have him test where we were with the knowledge as far as the levels, the underlying pigments, how to use the color wheel. That was pretty good. Also, he explained how developers work. And then last but not least, he actually had the hairstylist, like when they say, well, how do you do the foils? He was like, I don't know. You come up and you show me how you do the foils. And they was like this. Oh, tell me about the house again, George. Y'all should have seen this, Trish. And so that's, to me, those are the best classes. The ones where you get the hands-on, and then people were really struggling with how to charge, how to build clientele. So he did a really, really good job. Now, he is a premier hair designer. He doesn't just take any old body. So you have to be of a certain je ne sais quoi to get into his books. And so he is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. So if you are in the world of hair coloring and cutting, it's his thing. He is world traveled. And so he's good, and he was worth every single penny. I would definitely pay to go see him again. As a matter of fact, they want to bring him to Cleveland, and y'all know I'm gonna be all in. And don't you know, Cheryl? I saw Cheryl's uncle there, Uncle Harold Morrow. Can I tell everybody what he said? Is that okay, Cheryl? Can I just? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all what Uncle. This Cheryl. Now if y'all think Cheryl is off the Richter scale, then you can only imagine the uncle. Okay, so this is true. Now, don't y'all laugh. So you know how you go to the trade show, the education, they have the vendors there with their products, right? So Kendra, I walked over. We're gonna go over to Uncle Harold. Hi, do you remember me? And he didn't, but he kind of played it off. I'm like, I'm Cheryl's friend Ladosha. I had to drop in Cheryl. I was like, Ladosha. He was like, I said, yeah, how you doing? I said, Cheryl's friend. He said, oh. So sometimes in this industry, you do have to name drop. So I reminded him that I was Cheryl's friend. You know how that is. Come on, Trish. I don't talk about, okay? And so it was the product there, right? So we pumped the product out. We're going to put it in our hair. He said, don't put that in your hair. I was like, huh? He was like, now see, your hair is beautiful and healthy as real. This stuff right here is for them weaves. It's for the hair. That's not for your kind of hair. I thought that was just so. I was like, oh my God. He was like, I got some. Now, come on down here now. Come on. And so I went down to the good stuff. And this is why education is important. Now, he didn't have to do that. But he was like, girl, now I'm not talking about the people in the class, okay? But it is true. A lot of hairstylists wear a lot of hair additions. And so he, like me, was really perplexed. Why are you coming to a color class like all this weave? Like, don't you want to show off like the color? And so he has products for hairstylists who wear weaves. And then he has products for hairstylists who wear their own hair. But never, I've been doing hair for 25 years and I've never, ever, ever had a product representative tell me that is not for human hair. And so I thought that was just like, y'all should have seen us. Here we go. We was up here weekend. We was like this. Like, come on, put it in there. And Kendra was getting ready. He said, come on. Don't put that in your hair. I said, don't put that in your hair.
Hey,
I said, well,
thanks, Uncle Harold. I appreciate it.
The bottle said shine. And here was my rationale, right? I like stuff that's different. So it says shine, but it looks like a cream. He was like, it's garbage. And the guy who made it, he ain't no good either. He said, nah, he say that, but it's not for human hair. And it was just so funny. So you need these types of, people and to help protect you from yourself. And so big ups to Patrick Bradley. Remember Patrick with the C. There's no K at the end of his name. I encourage, even if you are a consumer, if you really, and he addressed the dumbest shit that people say about coloring hair. He was definitely anti putting food in your hair. So when I say we're not the only ones, we are not the only ones. And of course, there are products that are what they call it, multifaceted, that can be used on, wigs and weaves and human hair. But that particular product was not for human hair. And he was just so poignant and letting me know, girl, you just do not just grab shit, start putting shit. Come on now. You say you're hanging with Cheryl Morrow. And so I thought that was, he is a good and honest man. Okay. So that's how it's going. We got a new cousin in the house.
That's how the Morrows roll.
That's how the Morrows roll. So y'all see the whole Cheryl thing. It's just the Morrows. This is how it get down. Thank you, Sandra, for welcoming. I know is this cyclism? All right. We got cyclism. Welcome. We got a new cousin.
What's up, cousin?
So how you doing out there? This is good. So again, tonight it is all about, do hairstyling techniques matter? Now, can I do a humble brag? Is it okay, guys?
Go ahead.
Is it okay if I do a humble brag? So y'all could drop a yes in the chat or a no. If one person drops a yes or a Y in the chat, I'm going ham. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes. Let me see who over on Instagram, because I know it's kind of like, it's Mr. Scott Holcomb. Hey, Scott. This is the first time I did not call you Mrs. Hotcomb. Okay, I should get a like for that. I mean, at least I'm learning how to say his name properly. Okay, all right. So I got a couple of yeses. I can do a humble brag. All right. So it's no big secret that I'm a big fan, of Rev Air and their products, and so I was solicited, invited, if you will. I don't know if solicited is a good word, but invited to submit some articles to some magazines on my take about certain topics. And so this particular magazine, you guys might be really familiar with it. And it is called In Style Magazine. There it is. All right. And so this one is about why apple cider vinegar is an easy and affordable healthy hair hack. And so I was addressing, can this stuff make your hair grow, that kind of stuff. So of course y'all know I was like, mm-mm. But anyway, I don't want to be a dead giveaway. I will drop the link in the chat after the live. And so there it is. Meet the expert. Come on now, y'all. Oh, no. When you get an InStyle magazine, you have arrived. So see how we do this thing here. So Cheryl and I, we keep telling y'all we are out here. We are serious about this thing called hair. So, and we told you guys we had Rev Air on Planet Pluto Pseudo, and Cheryl and I, we both talked about why it's really important to partner with companies who are for what you're trying to do. And Cheryl has given you guys a big old lesson about these companies using hairstylists as customers, which she doesn't think that's a really good idea. And so Rev Air is one of those companies that doesn't do that, okay? And so it was via them that I was able to participate in writing this article. And so I was very, very, very excited, but I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for you guys allowing Cheryl and I to be on this platform, and we are able to do things such as get our school of thought out into this. This publication is it's around the world, so this is really, really no small feat here. But we just want to show you guys again that we are committed to sending out the proper information. And I will say that the editors were telling the people over at Rev Air, she's different. And so I really, I'm glad that they recognized that I wasn't, answering the questions in the stereotypical fashion. So now you get a chance to see some of what we talk about here on the platform in print and mainstream that we are trying. Can I say, are we infiltrating this, Cheryl?
Infiltrating
the popular stuff that's being
I think
said.
they're ready for it.
Yeah. So we're
talking that the author is Nigerian.
Oh, okay. So I can't tell about. See, y'all know Cheryl's smarter than me. Y'all know from the projects, right? Okay.
Well, I mean, about
yeah. Okay. All right. So we are doing our part to get a new school of thought out into the mainstream, so people are not hearing the same thing all the time.
Very important.
So that is very, very important. Now, they got some editorial stuff. You know how they do. But anywho, I would like to send a big super duper shout out to InStyle Magazine and to Miss Omina. I hope I can't see it too good. Bouquet. I know I'm saying it wrong. Watch. Okay. So thank you so very much for allowing me to participate and add my expertise to what I think how apple cider vinegar is an easy and affordable hair hack. And again, I will put that link in the chat. So there's my humble brag. I will put that link into the chat. So and I submitted some other stuff. So we're just dedicated. Like I said, this is what we're doing here, is trying to get this out. So enough of that humble brag. It is now time to get to the topic at hand, which is all about, do hairstyling techniques matter? Now, remember, we are here for the public. Thanks so much for showing us some love and all the thumbs up. We appreciate you on all the platforms. We're talking about Facebook. We're also talking about YouTube. Then, of course, we are talking about LinkedIn. I'm sorry, Instagram. Okay. So welcome everybody. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into the topic. If you have questions about styling techniques, now is the time to have it. And Cheryl and I, we're going to go ahead on and break it down. Thank you, Wike and Sandra, everybody. Cyclism, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, that was no small feat. 25 years to really get your thoughts out there. So again, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Okay, Cheryl, so let's hop into it. Do hairstyling techniques matter? Let's just answer that question, because you come from a family that have products, that have tools, and definitely techniques. So when you answer the question, just start off with a yes or no. Of course, we want you to go into why. And then I have videos around shampooing, and I didn't pick a whole lot. just the popular stuff, and then we could talk about these particular hairstyles and why techniques matter. So let's answer that question first. In your professional opinion, do it really matter how? I mean, nobody owns braiding, right?
No one owns braiding,
Nobody
locking,
has a patent
feather,
on, how to flat iron, no patent on that or whatever.
button, cutting, coloring.
But there is a lady who did patent sister lock, so we'll talk about that a little bit too. And that
That's
may
a
be
method.
a method. Okay, so people may want to do something like that. We'll talk a little bit about her. I'll pull her name up with the sister locks. So let's answer that question first. Do techniques matter, and why, or why you chose that answer?
It's a trick question because when you say matter, I think it matters in terms of your personal. I mean, for a hairstylist, it matters. I think that most people, once they get home, have developed their own technique to get them the same result or close to the same result as when they left the barber shop or the salon. But I think for me, because of course, when a hairstylist or they're turning into a manufacturer and you're creating something to have what we call tried and true results basically all the time, method to me it matters more than your technique because I can train you to do that.
Okay. So what's the difference between method and technique?
A technique is how a person goes about something, and it can be different from me and then to you, and you may have your fingers one way and that technique works for you. Technique is usually akin to the word technical. How technical are you, right? But a method that is that the apparatus or the product line that you're using already has a set of rules and regs in a method that you must follow. Now, how you follow it, let's just say the method is to foil. Okay. But how you foil is a technique. Does that make sense? You're on mute, sis.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So there we have the difference between that. Trish was like, that was her question. She was going to ask, what is the difference between method and technique? So methodology would be coming from the professional world, and technique, is that kind of like what you're saying a little bit?
Well, let's just say this: if you just got your laptop, and the method is to first create a pin, and then how you go about creating the pin, right? But then there's no technique at that point because it's only a method. Because you have to do a pin first, and then you sign on to register your software, blase, blase, and see that is what we call a method to get where you need to go.
Okay.
There's no imparting of a technique on how to do that. Okay. You still have to. Now you can say, well, I pressed the button twice. Well, if you press the button twice and Cheryl only pressed the button once, your twice is going to make the method not work.
Right. Okay.
And so when Trish asked that question, is understanding that I have a set of methods here that must be followed. Okay. Now, because she's a professional and you're a professional and I'm a professional, what we tend to do out of beauty school, usually beauty school students will follow the method, from A to Z. But when you get into the professional world, we'll skip, B, C, and D, and we'll go from A to H.
Yeah, we see that a lot in hair coloring.
Yeah.
We definitely see that a lot when chemical alterations is just one of those things that for some reason, even in the class today, I noticed that people would just really just skip and they forget about, all the methodology and why companies want you to do certain things a certain way. And I love the way that he had kept saying, you have to read the manufacturer's instructions. And I think when it comes to do techniques matter, and this is, we're going to, go over a lot of this for you guys to understand that when you invest in, tools and products and everything, the manufacturers, they have a certain way that they want things done so that you guys can get optimal results. Though they vary from person to person, the goal is for you guys to really be happy with your hair. But according to the name of this podcast, the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, we're not seeing that in the public. And we know that because so many people remain to be very, very, very unhappy with their hair. And so some of the methods and techniques that we do see coming out of, lay persons and even professional people, they're kind of misleading. For example, and we have to talk about this, Cheryl, before we get into some of these videos, is the goal of looking for hairstyles that don't require quote unquote maintenance. People, and he talked about this in the class too, was back in the day, people wanted to know how long was it going to last. And so those were hairstyles where you had to spritz. Y'all remember Pump It Up? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember Pump It Up? You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember Pump It Up? And you had to spritz in that hair. You had those little stack curls. And y'all remember on Friday when she was sleeping like that, shit. And so we still hear that. So as we go into techniques, we're going to look at some techniques and we're going to critique them and help you guys out. What is this thing? What do you have to say, rather, to people who are really looking for these hairstyles that really last? Because that definitely comes up. Welcome to our Canadian friend, Live Work Clean. So nice to see you back into the chat. What's going on? What's going on? She said, "Hey y'all, how y'all doing?" What you say about all y'all gonna go to these techniques, but what I want to know before y'all get to, because I gotta get to work, you know what I'm saying, is how or what do you say about the goal to have long lasting hairstyles?
And let me ask you before I answer that.
Okay.
What would be the number one long lasting hairstyle in your opinion?
Okay, everybody, come on, y'all. Let's get into it. Come on, come on, come on. What style do you guys think? What's up, Lady KT? I see you over there, Miss CDK. Hey, Sunshine Danielle, how you doing? The question we're asking, this is over on Instagram, how you guys doing? The question is, as we talk about, we're going to delve into, do hairstyling techniques matter? And Cheryl said, not only do they matter, but methodology precedes techniques. So you want to have a little bit of both. So now we want to know which hairstyle, by the way, hey, Floretta, which hairstyle do you guys think lasts the longest? Is that correct, Cheryl? Which hairstyle do you guys think lasts the longest?
Come on. Yeah, I mean, come on, y'all.
Now remember, when we say the dumbest shit, we're not trying to scare you guys away. We're letting you get, we in y'all corner because we telling y'all. We say some dumb people, say some dumb shit, and we want y'all to get out of that loop. So share with us, because now is the time to get the help. I believe that this hairstyle lasts the longest. And I'm gonna tell you what, this is the one hairstyle that people, this is the one that they say, lasts the longest. And it's already coming up in the chat. I'm gonna put mine in there. My little 2 cents too, because I'm part of this. I'm learning too. Don't forget, okay? So let's see what we have so far. Okay, let me come back down. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Trish says braids are the ones that, and that's what I had braids / weaves, and Jay says afros. Health matters, but afros. Okay. Afros last. Okay, let's see if we got. Come on, guys. We are here to help you out over on Instagram. Hey, Floretta Smith Bell. Anybody on Instagram want to take a go ahead and type something in the chat about which hairstyles do you guys think? I think these last the longest. And I saw somebody put a bun up there. I remember back in the day, yeah, they used to get them updos. I remember them updos. Oh, Sandra, there it is. Okay. So we have buns. Okay.
Okay,
All
bun.
right. Okay, bun. Hold on. We got another one. Hold on. We got this one. Now she put a now in. Now, as far as the loose style, you can get a longer set. Get a longer. Okay, those set. You mean those little perm? Okay, the rod sets. Okay, okay, rod sets. That's a good one. I forgot about them. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, the Canadian babe said, "Y'all rocking buns over there in Canada." All right. Aye, aye. Okay, so Canada says buns. Okay, these are some good ones, guys. All right. Uh, so these are the hairstyles that people say last the longest. I do know that braids and weaves are the hairstyles of choice because people say these last the longest and they ain't got time for no her. Right quick, Cheryl, before you go, let me see if anybody on Instagram. Okay, Instagram's a little shy. It's okay, Instagram. We gonna help you guys out anyway. Okay, Cheryl, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay. You guys should know me by now.
Want me to show a video on the braids since that came up? Okay, let me show a video. Let me show a video right quick. So y'all said braids last the longest. So I'm gonna show a video on braiding tech. Now I picked stitch braiding because everybody knows cornrow braids, but stitch braiding is something different. So let's show a technique on. Remember, all my stuff comes from TikTok. Here we go.
Pop Smoke stitch braids. Using the braid aid helps me move faster, creates cleaner stitches, makes the process easier. Most importantly, is comfortable for my client and an overall game changer when it comes to doing hair.
All right. So for your stitch braids, you need your little hooky thing. You got to have some wax on there. And so that's going to be her technique for stitch braiding. Okay. Now, and I said braids because that's one of those hairstyles that people say, braids / weaves last the longest. And so far, yes, Lawana, we're definitely on. Hey, boss, drop them L's in the chat. There's my boss is in the chat. So buns, I would say braids and weaves number 1, and buns are number 2, and then rod sets are number 3.
Okay. The reason why I asked you guys that first is because you asked me, why do we, especially black, it's a black woman thing. Don't nobody else say, I want my hair to last long, except us, right? And so the reason why I wanted to point that out is because we don't want to comb our hair, because we don't want to touch our hair, because we don't or feel that we are the only person on the planet that is that busy to the point where we don't want to do it every day. We don't want to wash it once a week. We just don't want to do that, right? Oh, and then Kay Washington just got in and she says locks.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Now, it was a trick question. Because what are those hairstyles called?
Natural hairstyles. No.
Now we on the dumbest shit now. What are those hairstyles called?
What are
you guys? What is? I actually kind of tricked you into it. But then my point is, what are those? What's the longest lasting hairstyles? Protective hairstyles. Right. So
they are called protective hairstyles.
Now,
she messed me up with that one because I should have known that was the answer. I said, but you're right. That is the new thing now. Protective hairstyles. That's the dumbest.
That's right. That's dumbest shit. But it's a codified language. So we're not protecting it. We just don't want to look like assholes. We just don't want to tell the world we don't want to do our hair. So we called them protective hairstyles.
Now let's delve into it. Come on now. Come on. Let's talk about this dumb shit called protective hairstyles.
Come on.
Okay? Why do people Now, let me just before we go, I'm ask the question, but before now, when if the term first came out, I was like, "What?" Because again, I'm not in that world, so the customers were telling us, and so I try. What I wanted to do was try to create like a little card or something, but as I was working on it, right, and I'm like, "This is the," so we had to come out of that and say it's just not going to happen. Um, so because hairstylists, we do understand that some trends come out, they come in, and we'll talk about why the trends should come in and then out. But um, what what is it to have a protective hairstyle?
Nothing.
How many people believe that a protective style actually, or I'm sorry, let me
This.
put this up. Hold on, let's find out. Low manipulation. That's a good one. Yeah, they good with that one too. Low manipulation protective hairstyles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low manipulation, Miss Sandra, means you don't want to do your hair. That's exactly what it means.
The King of Lock said you're too rough over on Instagram.
You what?
He says you're being too rough. But these are conversations that need to be had because you have a entire
See,
group
that's
of
why. That's why I don't like black politicians. That's exactly, Tondo. That's exactly why I don't. I cannot. I can't stand when I need to get mad and complain, and I gotta walk in, and that woman is looking like me, because I know she can't do shit about it. And then I gotta curve my enthusiasm, my compassion, my passion, my anger, my pistivity, because that's a black woman or a black man on the end of that table. And what you saying is that we did 8 years of Obama, knowing damn well we wanted to critique his ass and complain, but we couldn't. So what you're telling me is because I'm talking to my wonderful, lovely, fabulous, ingenious, brilliant, beautiful black people that I have to what? Lie?
he's laughing.
I love it.
He says Dr. Cheryl, I agree with you.
I know.
Yes, we know you do. Yeah, so let me just say that to some people who might be new, it is not. That's why I said when we say the dumbest shit,
Say it
we
again.
yeah,
And
well, and we do mean. I mean, we really mean the dumbest shit. Like protective hairstyles is just some dumb effed up bull fragger pagger knacker.
no. You guys went in steps now. I will give it to you because you went from the hair salon trying to twist our arm and say whatever we're doing to your hair better look like that on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now you gotta say it like black folks. Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Thursday, Friday. And wait a minute, we gotta do another loop because it gotta last for 2 weeks until you come back. Now, if you think that was complete, that was either some blackmail that it didn't last. The curls was gonna droop. Something was gonna happen. And that was a standard in cosmetology conversation in the salons. Now, this is one of the reasons why I say, ladies, black men didn't say nothing to you. Black men didn't say nothing to you because they do not leave their barber and say to their barber, how long is this haircut gonna last? They don't even. It is preposterous.
And let me just speak to, we're not knocking the creative direction of finding a way to sell something, Because I tell people at the end of the day, we got to sell y'all something. You know, we are in business. Let's tell the truth according to proof. Okay.
Well, we
So
want to sell you just like anyone else wants
yeah,
to
but
sell you
right,
things
but
that make your journey between the 2 weeks a
right.
lot easier and
And,
much more efficient.
and I
So
agree
you
with Cheryl.
can redo what we did do
Hmm.
the next morning and the next morning and the next morning. But the unrealistic expectations has been in the black salon for over 50 years, over half a century. You want us to do something so you won't have to.
Instead of just saying I don't want to do my hair, these are called hairstyles that people who just don't want to do their hair.
Right. And
And
it
when
did morph from how long it was gonna last. And then I
hmm
think you guys went to, you guys went from that, and then you guys went to then the natural hair had their thing, and that was called protective hairstyles. But it all morphs into the fact that we're just uncomfortable
hmm
with the trust factor. Now, this is where the first question you asked me, Ladosha, was the fact that I believe that Sandra says low manipulation, but that is germane to low technical skill.
yeah.
And so we don't have the skills.
Because we see a struggle,
Yeah.
and like people went on this natural hair quote unquote journey, whatever that is,
Okay.
whatever. That's some of the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. This whole journey. There is no journey, okay? Looking for hairstyles that you don't have to do. I hate to be blunt. It's like a vagina you don't have to wash, teeth you don't have to brush, ears you don't. There's no such thing as low maintenance ear cleansing. When they're dirty, you have to clean them. And so when we look at this, people who went on this natural hair journey, a lot of people did not, and they still don't. They live with the hair, but they don't understand it. Let's say, for example, people will come to the hair salon and they want hair color. And they want something like what I have here. Let me just kind of comb this up because you can't really see it. All right. And they will want these highlights. So you can clearly see in this angle, there are some highlights. Well, in order to create a pattern, we've got to stretch the hair to create it. So when you twist it or you braid it, you can see whatever pattern, and that's creative direction. So when they come to the hair salon, the hair salon is Afro. They don't understand the appointment is booked, ready to go. But you don't, oh, I combed it out and it went back to an Afro. They're very confused with why, when I combed it out, it went back, and you guys want me. I don't want you. You want this hairstyle that requires steps,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to do things to maintain it. But this journey, it makes people think that there's a destination to get to. You're not going to arrive anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
because soon as you go outside
Mm-hmm.
or go to sleep or
Mm-hmm.
make love or get in the shower or any of that, that hairstyle, unless it's just plastered up under something, hold on the conversation. But let's take Cheryl's hairstyle. That's considered a quote unquote natural. When she wake up, that's not going to look like that. If she goes swimming,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not. So the journey in the consumer's mind, they really feel like I'm going to go through something, then I'm going to get there, and voila. The journey is very misleading because it's taking the person away from the intimate intricacies of involvement with themselves and their hair per what the fabric and hairstyle requires.
Very well said. I mean, because let's just say my nieces spend the night. Do you literally think that I'm going to do anything different to me than I will do to my 8-year-old niece? Now, where is the line of demarcation of the little girl not in wearing natural hair and having a natural hair journey and a natural hair story and a protective hairstyle. And no, I'm just doing her hair. Okay. But when
Well,
I do my hair, I have to have techniques, knowledge, low manipulation. I got to have all of these things that now have become colloquialisms.
well, the King of Locks says because the protective style is protecting the hair from the client.
Did you just say that?
That's what he says. The protective, this is a quote from the King of Lock here over on Instagram.
No, 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 no.
But the protective style is protecting the hair from the client.
Now, and because we acknowledge that, why would the judicial system give a shit about the fact that you
Or your hair, you're the enemy to your hair.
That is the most preposterous, ridiculous, because you can't go to the U.S. Constitution with that. That's exactly, King of Lock, what is wrong with the Crown Act.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you said it. And so that also means that as professionals, because you don't get no more professional and top notch.
All right, Valicia, nice to have you. Go ahead, Cheryl.
You don't get any top tier than Tondo Kafele. And if he could get there, then that means that the best constitutional rewriting of the Crown Act needs to come from within the belly of the historical, professional beauty hair care industry, and not politicians and African American study and lawyers. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah. Let's go back up here right quick as we talked about journey. Trish shares with us. She called it a journey for her because I had to learn how to manage my hair. It was a journey of trial and errors until I got it right. That was a journey for me. And
we understand that was a process of time, but let's be clear. You knew how. There was a process of when you forgot, or you disconnected, or you gave it to someone else to do, because you were a black little girl and a black teenager at one point. You did learn.
Right. And when you look at what you're describing as a journey, she says, I call it a journey for me because I had to learn how to manage. It was a journey of trial and errors until I got it right. That is called maintenance.
Right.
You gotta call it what it is, because the journey, it's kind of you're placating or you're, what's that word, Cheryl, when you're kind of it's a term for when you just kind of put it to people mildly, like a euphemism.
Yeah.
You know, you're using some wordplay because and this is what I tell people all the time. It is very like a person will go to the doctor, right? And they will say, I went to the white doctor or the black dermatologist, and they were not able to help me with their hair. So the first question I always ask is, well, how did you go to the doctor? And they'll say, like this. And their hair was unkempt and not clean. You have to understand, because hair falls under hair care, hair styling, whatever. It falls under hygiene. It is extremely difficult to tell someone you nasty. It's so hard. It's like telling somebody their breath stank, or I smell you have bad body odor, or a man that his pants is unzipped. You can do it. I'm good at it. You people who drink and they smell like they've been drinking too much, or people who are on drugs, you can smell. You know somebody who smoked a preem. You know when somebody on crack, you know what that stuff smells like. I mean, I'm from the hood. I lived it. I have a lot of crackheads in my family. I know what a wet, you know what this stuff smells like. So how do you tell this person that you got to do this? So from a psychological perspective to a lot of people, it's different for you because you're in the throes of it. But the journey is kind of a light way of trying to, ease a person into what they need to do instead of, like Cheryl said, it ain't no nice way to say it. You got to get your ass up every day and take care of your hair. However you want to style it, that's up to you.
Well, and let me just say this, and I'm not talking about you, Trish,
Right.
and but the journey is disingenuous because you're relearning. Because every Black girl that experiences, and some of us got the complete beauty process, 360 degree. Some of us only got 45. I get it. However, to the Y2K natural movement to be involved in this journey as if it never happened before. It happened to you. You were there when your parents or someone of your custodian or guardian was in charge of teaching you that. Maybe they didn't teach you, let's say like a Mr. Morrow or Mrs. Morrow taught me. I get it. I'm not trying to make a comparison, but it is disingenuous as if it wasn't in the North American culture. It was very highly entrenched. We are here people. So it is disingenuous to say that now the journey begins, because at the end of the day, Black folk, what's more important, the Genesis or the Exodus? And I know that, and I know when Black women say that in terms of their hair stories and their journeys, right? That is a mechanism in which they are returning. It's not that they are just, doing this for the first time. They know how to do a plait because Black women will come to all these natural hair show festivals, expos, workshops, and seminars and have the most beautiful children with the most gorgeous hair. So at some point, they child ain't in natural hair care. They child ain't looking at YouTubes. They child ain't saying, "Mama, do this and do that." I mean, come on, stop.
Right. And you also have to keep in mind on that note, just to stay right there with the child. When you're using those terms like journey, let's take a young mom or a new mom who want to do something different. Like, I don't want to do with my mom. I don't want to pop up out of here. I don't want to put it between my legs and lock her. Oh, hey, see you. They want to do something different, right?
And even that is folklore. That's not 95% of it. No, everybody's experience.
Right.
It's once again colloquialism. Like you said, euphemisms, and ephemeras, things that are either trend set. They get into the colloquialism, and then they get in secular movies, and then
and then people
culture.
Right, people will try to raise a child in that lexicon of journey. They're a new parent and they're already, I want to get my daughter. No. And this is where, like Cheryl said, hair coaching. We as cosmetologists, the only way we can really help out is when you come into our space and we can remove that, because that's not going to help you. Because journey seems like it's something softer. It's something easier. It's something that I can just kind of willy-nilly. And when the hair starts to grow or it demands more of the mother's time, the father got to be involved. He got to do something too. We see all these tiffs with this thing called journey, when it is our job to kind of address that very uncomfortable reality, which is you're not maintaining. You have to do it. Why is the hair? Because it's not clean. Well, I did this. I didn't. No, you didn't. Well, I didn't realize because my natural hair journey. You see? So you just got to, how we said in the hood, you got to give it to them straight up, what rough 100, rugged and raw. It's just no other nice way to say what the hair needs and how you have to do what the fabric calls for, giving whatever particular hairstyle you want. The journey is going to remove and kind of soften that, and people won't do what they need to do, like comb the hair properly. Because
let's go into history. Let's go chronologically. And so let's just say we are all 50, right? And so we all remember the 90s, right? And the 90s you morphed out of the curl back to the relaxer, and then of course things got a little weird, and then you go into locks and chops, and you go into lock era, and you go into, obviously, braids has always been there. Okay, hair loss happens, and wiggle weaves come back in, and then locks come back because locks didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Okay?
Correct.
All of these, especially when they were called dreadlocks. Okay, none of these things in these hairstyles went in out of vogue at the same time, and then all of a sudden we have this great amnesia. Where did the great amnesia? And so my point is, Y2K sold an amnesia. It didn't actually really happen, okay? Because your kids still went to school with their hair done. They still were wearing ponytails and bobos and ribbons. Little boys were still going to school and going to barbershop getting a haircut. And so we have to remember that we were marketed a journey. We were marketed that.
Yeah.
We were marketed because it made, it was fodder. Okay. And so it made very good sense to what we do in terms of generations. Generations sometimes start over. And then we get to arguing about, of course, that issue with gerontocracy. The young ones want to act like history doesn't repeat itself, like it comes in, like it's it just
brand new phenomenon.
It's another, right? And then that is now, okay? But we talk about Blackness as if it doesn't have a continuum, okay? It's all there. And so when we get into the relearning, and as the other a young lady said, the rediscovering, okay? It's not the fact that you're relearning something that was never there. There is a story, and this is in the hair coaching that we teach at the Afro Hair Science Summit. Just because you're relearning doesn't mean it was never there.
Right.
So Black hair care, and because natural hair care made a point of defecting from regulated cosmetology, traditional child hospitality, and Black hair care, chemicals, and all this, they started over. So therefore, we have the vernacular in the language of journey.
But in that vernacular, in that language, it is a sales pitch.
Yeah,
we
so
know a lot of people find that very hard to believe. They want you to buy something. They want you to buy something. But what we want y'all to do, Wike and Sandra and Cheryl Ladosha, we don't want y'all to buy nothing. Instead, we want y'all to do what? This right here. Show them, Cheryl.
Pampa me on. Pampa me on.
All right. Do hairstyling techniques matter? Go ahead. So here's a perfect example of being sold something that we already know the answer to. But what if you detangle your natural hair before your hair appointment, and when you arrive, it's tangled again? My hair might do that. You see how she was sold something? Because we know for a fact, like she said, it doesn't matter if your parents, we're not gonna get into how your mama did that. We're not gonna say that. Your foster parent was no. Okay. We know for a fact that growing up, our parents always kept the hair what? Plaited or braided or in them bobos. Why? So that they could get up and manage it the next day. I have 70-year-old women who just act like they don't remember that you cannot go to bed with your hair not plaited and tied down. We know exactly what's going. Well, I was brought up, I just let my hair. There are some people who don't know, and we know who those people are. And there are people who really didn't have a clue. But if you know that if you don't plait that hair back down, it's going to tangle. So there's no such thing as I'm gonna pick this afro out. And when I get, it's just gonna be no.
And let me ask you a question. And Luana, we love you.
We love you.
But right. But read the sentence.
Let me read it again.
Right,
Let's try it
because
again.
let's say you can't.
Let's work it out. That's what we're here for.
Right,
But
right.
what if you detangle your natural hair? Stop right there. Go ahead.
What if you detangle your? Do you have two different types of hair on your head, Moana? What you have, like a patch that's natural, then a patch that's not?
Or wig.
Yeah, because you make the reference your natural hair.
So that's what they sold. They sold you on that off the rip.
Now that puts you in an industry that is where the mind, your natural hair. Okay, so what if you detangle your hair before your hair appointment? And when you arrive, it's tangled again. Because my hair might do that. But let's say if you were coming to me, wouldn't I determine if it was tangled again? I like what why are you determining how tangled it is? Why don't you let the professional just go ahead and prepare your hair to do it, whatever they're going to do? You know, and my whole thing is, someone told you that hair has a brain. It knows you arrived somewhere and it's tangled now. And that is a lot of inner dialogue, right? And that is what this journey and hyper sentient on what it's going to do by the time I drive there. You know, that is really something that we would talk about, because that is, you know, either curly hair has a nature or it has some sinister thing it wants to put you through.
And that's why we said come to the hair salon so we could help you, because this whole difficult to manage selling.
Because all you're missing
the-
is technique. You're not missing anything, because at the end of the day, if I've never met you, you sat in my chair, I'm going to probably be in love. We're going to have a good time. And I would probably never know that all of that inner dialogue is ever going on, unless I said.
Can't clap on that one. That's it, guys. We have to break it down like this, because you have been sold. It's hard to fathom, but you most certainly have been sold something, because we know, unless you were just brought up like in a what you call
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
What's that, like a jungle, and you just had no access to human behavior. Then and there are people. I worked in outreach where people were literally brought up like animals. That does happen. We're not, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Without social structures.
Yes, yeah. We definitely know that those things do happen. But we're talking about in this ethos, you know, people do get some fundamentals at a very early age. The selling is the I don't want to listen to that. And that's what my mom, I'm not doing. You can do that if you want to, but as we say, how's that working out for you?
Yeah. I feel that you're trying to protect me from your hair. You're going to set me up. You're going to tell me that it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, it's not doing this, it's not doing that. And you get in my chair and it's not that. I'm just styling some fabulous fiber. And we're going to do it the way you want to make you satisfied. And I'm not in your story. I'm not in your journey.
Right.
I am just looking at gorgeous hair.
Right.
I'm so detached from, and that is why hair coaching is so important. But my job and Ladosha's job and everyone's job is to give you the skill so you don't have to be afraid, and then you don't have to actually be what Dr. Kafele said. You ain't got to feel that you need to protect your hair from you.
Or pay $100 to detangle. A lot of that is coming from, because see, those are not professionals. If you fall for that and you pay for that, I don't know, but you know, you should be going if you're coming to a salon with your hair that's not in a manner that the salon requires for them to service you, the onus is on them to help teach you, because some people, all salons are different. If you're patronizing, you're paying for that, or that's making you angry, you should woosah, because there are a plethora of hair salons who would help you understand what you need to do to be a customer in their salon setting. So yes, you do have salons that are going to charge you upwards to 100 to detangle, because number one, you're probably not their person, or maybe that salon they don't teach, but you have power as a consumer to go somewhere for somebody to teach you what you need to do to be a customer in their salon. And don't we do that at our salon? We teach you. We do. We teach you. Go ahead, Cheryl.
I'm assuming that these are very thick, tight, coily textures only.
Yeah. They say the stylist ain't teaching nobody. You're going to the wrong places. And I know you guys are like, they are out here. I know you guys find that hard to believe.
And I'm just going to ask if someone can be honest enough. Okay. Did you once, ever in your life, teenagers, did you ever comb your hair at some point? And where is the gap? Where's the comb gap?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you want to comb your own hair?
Well, where's the comb gap? Where did it started, but then where did it stop? Where's the gap?
Yeah.
Because what I'm hearing is that, let's say Luana goes to the store and she got her hair all combed out and fabulous, and she goes and gets her little, bottle of water, and she got to hurry up and go because the hair is gonna do something weird, and she's gonna get charged $100 if she doesn't. I need to know what is that, because of course, curly hair, I don't care how tight it is, don't tangle that quick to the point where you have to give me a disclaimer and a warning that my hair may be, and let me just say this, and I'll be very upfront.
Mm-hmm.
Any salon that charges you to detangle, that hair must have been detangled a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, severely tangled. And I'm not talking about just completely just because I didn't do my hair in a couple of days. That's not tangled.
Yeah, and that's what we are seeing in the hair salons.
Really?
We are seeing, oh yeah, that so let me just help you guys out. That stylist ain't teaching, the stylist ain't teaching. Some aren't. We're not about to sit up here and try to pretend, okay? Yeah. Because there are many that don't. But let me just tell you guys this, and I love what you just said, Cheryl. If you say you combed your hair out, like she said, and you get to, and you're like, oh my God, it's just so nappy.
I gotta hurry up and get.
Yeah, it's so tangled, right? Here's what we want you guys to know. Hair does something called atom breaks. Your hair is going to tell us a story. No matter what you say you did, your hair going to say, she lying on her breast stank of panther piss. She did not detangle me. She did not comb it out. She did not plait it down. Whatever. Your hair. Now, the stylist, again, these are difficult conversations to say to your customer. We know you lying on your breast stank of panther piss, because hair don't do that. Mm-hmm. If you comb it out, it's combed out. It's combed out. But if you combed it out at 6 o'clock and here it is, 6 o'clock in the evening, you didn't. Now that's, come on now, dog. Come on now. So that is one of those things that's very difficult. And I think that's where the Afro Hair Science Summit, and we talk about being hair coaches and helping the professionals, because there was a time in the industry, the model of the beauty industry is not built for what the natural hair industry has brought into the professional world of hair. When Cheryl and I was doing hair, nobody would ever, that's like going to a doctor with your vagina not clean. You wouldn't say to the doctor, well, you got the stuff in there to wipe it down before you examine me. Why do I have to wash it? You wouldn't go to the dentist and say, I ain't got to get that little flossy thing in between these braces. I've seen my dentist send people out. No, ma'am. No, I've seen him do that. No, because he has like,
crazy.
No.
Oh my God.
So you have to understand that the beauty salon is not set up for that type of an intensive 2 to 3. And now if you're struggling and you let us know, we can help you so that we can teach you. But if you come in and you haven't come, you just took your braids out and you want some highlights. Now, come on now.
Let me ask you guys a question.
You can't, that's not, the salon model isn't set up. And when you say, well, I did comb it out, the hair is telling us. It's just very difficult to have those conversations. So when we say techniques matter, they do matter. And you have to find the professional that's going to help you with where you at. But you go in honestly saying, what? I'm not the person that combs my hair. Tell them the truth. Can you help me?
And let's say this, because you made a very good point about being sold. And we're not always talking about product. You also got sold into finger combing. You got sold into, because let me just say this. If we could admit that Y2K natural hair movement did come in to the new 2000 season with either a trichophobia or shatophobia.
Who?
It's a fear of hair. And I think that there's something that we don't talk about. I think they had a natural fear of their hair. Someone told them, when you see hair on your shoulder, your clothes, the finger, they don't comb. And it's a phenomenon of Y2K natural.
And those brushes, they ain't using them damn. What the hell? Y'all put them damn brushes down.
And I think that's probably why they put so much gook on it before, to keep them from trichophobia and chatophobia. CHAETO phobia.
Let me look that
up.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. I'm looking at. Keep going.
And right. And the point here is that because the result of the clients and the influencers and the ambassadors and the natural hair providers, they are encased in this anti-combing.
Here it is. Right? Don't cook it up. Look it up. Chato or chatophobia, fear of hair. It can manifest as a fear of loose or detached hair, body, or even white gray hair. Some individuals with chatophobia may fear encountering hair on objects like furniture and food and blah, 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 blah. Germophobia can be triggered. So, yeah, this is very, very real. Thank you, Cheryl.
And also, this is also akin to, this is a very triggering subject, because this is where you come into, because also tender-headedness is connected to combing. It's not connected to anything else.
There it is. It came up. There it is.
Yeah.
She just, tender-headed, a phobia.
Right. Yeah. And I will be, because a lot of parents come to me, and let me just say this. I do think raking and improperly combing someone's hair is violence.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I concur as a
I think it's abuse. Okay. And so, and one of the things that we're saying is not that the experiences, I like to call them experiences, and I don't like to use the terms of natural hair care industry because they are distorted and
yeah,
conflicting,
right. I think
fragmented.
I yeah, I
Right?
just feel that I'm gonna take this down. So guys, don't forget, look that up. That's Shato or Kato,
Or
CHE.
trichoma. It's trichophobia. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's a very real experience. I just we really want you guys to really understand. I think being sold this ball and chain of this natural hair movement, it's just really it's coming to a screeching halt because people are the last one we did about men on hair. Oh my gosh, we got the African hair god even reached out to us. I wish Esther was in the chat. So now the influencers, they are hearing what we are saying. We're not influencers. We are people who are giving it. We are two concerned licensed professionals that are giving you the pure and unadulterated truth of what you have been sold by people who may have been well intended. Some are not. Some are. But it's no excuse to continue the fallacy of what a lot of people, the public, has bought into with this thing called natural hair movement. Our topic tonight, do styling technique matters? You can now clearly see that it does. And a lot of what you have been taught came at a very early age. It's just hard to fathom that something that you was told so simple at a very early age can still ring true when you're 70, 55, 40, whether you live in the hood or a suburb. Because some of these phenomena I see women who have moved into another, income tier and a lifestyle, they want to throw out. And I tell them, don't throw out your hood. Don't throw it. Go on back and get it and save yourself some time and save yourself some money.
And let me ask you guys a question. And what is the other trigger that we have with tenderheadedness? What's the other trigger?
The other trigger. So while we're waiting for some answers, yes, the African hair god is a licensed professional, and he has a K in that. And we are going to reach out to him and invite him on. And he wants to continue the discussion about men in the natural hair movement, which we did admit it would be nice to have a guy in the chat. So he was bold enough to say, "Hey, let me take a stab at that topic." So we are going to take him up on the request to have him on, and that would be so nice. So we'll put him in on a Thursday because he is a licensed professional. Okay. So okay, thank you, darling. So no response to that. So go ahead, Cheryl. You got about 10 more minutes. We're doing good.
Okay. Too tight, harsh combing, and braiding, plaiting, pulling hair too tight. You guys going home with headaches, scalp throbbing, little girl's hair too tight. Or, to me, that's abuse and violence. But, and it's all because we want something to last.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Or you
and
don't want to see the hair pop up. If you see that fuzz, or you get what we call a kitchen.
no.
Not yeah. Yeah.
Don't call it no fuzz.
I mean,
No fuck. Well, I know what
I'm not. Yeah, right.
I know.
That's all of
Black
that.
folks do not want to see this kind of hairline.
Or this one either.
Yeah, it's supposed to be what? I don't understand. I'm not a white woman. I'm going to have a curly hairline.
Yeah.
It ain't
And
gonna
right.
You
And
know,
my hair is softer. I'm not gonna have no the baby hair. They
and wait,
don't want to. Oh, it's gonna look thin. It's the ass is old. You do understand that as you age, these follicles they become smaller. They miniaturize. That's part of aging. You can slow it down, but you
wait a
can't
minute.
stop it. You know.
I want you to make sure this is how powerful our tongues are. Do you know why white people see black people, little black people, children as adults, or they see black people as older than they actually are? Because straight in our minds means baby. But you know, when your child is 2 years old, that hairline, that baby shit is over. That baby got curly hair. But for some reason, baby means slick. And what I'm saying to you is that even when young children have very tight curly hair, they're still babies. So we have to redefine what baby hair is. Baby hair is not aching to straight. And you know, and let me just say this. I deal with this just as intrinsic as it gets. Because I know my people. I know it's in you. I know you've been taught it. I know you've been reinforced. I know you say it all the time. You just do not understand what you're saying when you say it. Because when that baby come out of that amniotic fluid and that hair begins to keratinize, the moment oxygen hits it, and that hair is going to curl if it is in the instructions of her chromosome, in her DNA or his DNA. And once that hair becomes curled, why don't we call that baby hair? Knowing that damn baby is a baby. But because straight is aching to soft baby hair. And we got 45-year-old women walking around talking about this right here, this right here on the side, because it's just a little softer than this hair up here. You know, it's a psychological warfare, but it's a self-induced. And there's so many syndromes. And I think we were talking the other, it was about 6-7 months ago, but we were talking about pickaninny syndrome. Only black kids were called little coons, baby coons. And ugly black kids were called pickaninnies. And so you have to remember, you can't lie to me. You can't lie
Yeah.
to us.
I think Kate got it in there. Naps, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
kinky. And all of it's part of the messaging. And at the end of the day, to reverse it, we tell the truth, we get it out, and we sit with good hair coaches who understand
Right.
antebellum America, the plantation America, because it's messaging, you know. And what is really most important is that you have the language that's connected with the charged emotions.
Right. Because let's take it. Yeah. You take a word like naps. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people try really hard to make nap. Just to your point, this word they nappily ever after the nappy fest. You know, it's just so much. They try to take that word that we learned here on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. That's not what we came up with. This thing called nap. Okay, we did this. Okay. And so they try to make it something really nice. Nappily ever after, nappy fest, nappy whatever, until you make somebody mad.
And even the
And
word
and then they take that word that's supposed to be bad good and they'll use it against you. With your
black
she thinks
people,
she cute with her nap it. You see what we're saying, guys? The
and
the,
here
the
we go again.
selling until they want to take that same word and use it against you. You see the selling. You're gonna try to make it nice until you get mad at me. Then my hair is gonna be or my skin color.
I don't even think that's a very good point. I don't think as much work, spiritual, ancestral work, we have done in taking out the heat of the word nigga. I think we've managed to take the heat and turn it into a love tap and a word of endearment, but we have not been able to take nappy.
Not exactly to our point.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say we did pretty good with black. We definitely did.
Yeah,
We had money.
we
Oh
did the
man, we
mojo on the last nemesis, and that was nigga.
yeah.
We have not managed to take that into our collective alchemy and purify it.
Mm-mm.
And that is what that, and let me just say this, and that's why I don't play with my people's psyche.
Yeah.
And I don't play with their emotions. And I'm not, and that's why I'm critical of all of every practitioner, every hairstylist, every barber. I am high critical because we are cosmetologists. That is a high art. And I don't play with, so I'm not trying to sensationalize you. I'm not trying to scare you and boogeyman you and all of this bullshit that my people got going on. Because I know how deep the river goes. I know.
And this is why we said, even though the name of the podcast is the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, and we do mean.
And we do mean.
I'm talking about we do mean the dumbest shit you just learned today. Protective hair drug. That's just some dumb shit. Because
it lives, and so we can. It lives from y'all wanting it to last now.
Yeah,
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, the reality. We have some more time when we come back next week. We're gonna go into these products too, and so we have some more videos that we can use as we talk about techniques, because it's all gonna kind of compile. You know, we're gonna have a building block as we go into what. In 25 years, what has the natural hair movement taught you about styling hair? So we definitely got into technique. We're going to come back and add some product to those techniques. And our goal, again, is to help you guys to understand what you've been sold and to deliver yourself. Go back. Just close your eyes and go back to the beginning. If you didn't have it, and I know we see in all of the chat that there are not a lot of licensed professionals who are going to teach you. And we are here to tell you there are. You really have to make it known to that. And once they say, I don't do that, hang up the phone and go. Then you have the internet where you can look at reviews. You can, in real time, also word of mouth. There are professionals, but the onus is on you, the consumer. Like when you go to the doctor and they ask you what's wrong. The doctor can't guess that you have a fever. The doctor can't guess that you have a bellyache. You have to tell them 1 to 4, how much does your stomach hurt? You have to tell that technician, I haven't combed my hair. I combed it out at 10 o'clock. It's now tomorrow when I want to get in and I won't be able to comb it again. You have to tell that technician, like Cheryl said, so that they can prepare the day. They can prepare the day to do what they need to do to help you. But by no means is there any such thing as carefree hair. It's just never going to happen. And we hope that that is what you are learning. I'm going to drop the article, the InStyle article in the chat. And then Cheryl, close us out. We're going to come back with part 2 on this because this was really, really good. We appreciate you guys, and get your questions ready. Bring them some more. So Cheryl, close us out on do hairstyling techniques matter? And that's
it. They matter so much, but what more important is who you receive them from. Because of course, I love being Black, and I love being a woman, and I love being a hairstylist. And I love the fact that, what my family is in the impact. And so I take that very serious, and just like Ladosha does. And all of us, and the ones that are even in the chat. So the instructions, and it matters. And make sure that you, even if you need to call a professional that may not be your hairstylist, and maybe they can advocate for you if you're going someplace else, because I've done that many times to make sure that you're getting the best care.
Yeah, let us know what state you're in, and we probably can hook you up with a stylist who can help you. We know a lot of people. I don't just know Cheryl. I know a little like her.
And it's all love, because I want you to be, there's nothing more powerful. I think the word style is, I think the root word is stylus, stylus, which is akin to finger. And then that Latin word goes into the finger of God. And the God, and the finger of God means proxy, power, sovereignty, selfhood, authority. And if you want to define yourself and self-express the way you want to, my goal is to get you there with the best set of skills. Mm-hmm. And so you can duplicate it over and over and over. And your beauty process becomes integrated into your selfhood and under your governance, under your jurisdiction, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's important to us. And so why, sorry, Mr. Kufele, if I sound kind of, tough, but I don't, that is not my heart. I want you to get this and kick this out of your body. Mm-hmm. Become one with it to where whatever you want your hair to do for you, I want it to do that.
Right. That's what we said. That's why I kept saying, what the style, what the fabric requires. There are certain things. And we do feel our sister who am in the 51st state. I know.
Okay.
That's a perfect example of these people saying, no, sir, you can't sell us. You can't sell Canada. You see, you gotta laugh. Sometimes you gotta do stuff like what Live, Work, Clean. You gotta laugh at this stuff and realize who you are. And you know what they say, if you in that, what they call that, the woke people, stand on your square. Stand on it. You've been taught this stuff. Stand on it. We will be back. On Thursday, right? And remember, May is Mental Health Month.
That's right.
Please wear some green. Get ready to drop your green in the chat. Cheryl and I were going to I'll put my green shirt back on. Okay.
All right.
We're also going to have Mr. Latif, and he's going to talk about promotion and marketing. Now, this is good for them with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, because you got to have your mind right when you're talking about promoting and selling yourself in this industry here. So he's going to come and join us. And this is for the salons and barbers and nail techs. So we got that. And I think that's pretty much it. We appreciate you guys very much. And I think that's it. So good night. Thank you all again. And y'all have a wonderful evening. And we'll see you back here on Thursday. And on Monday, we're going to do part 2, right, Cheryl? We're going to do part 2 with products. And we're going to add products to this conversation.
Email us if you got some questions or ideas.
Yeah, we're going to keep it going. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 3,000 people, and you guys can help us do that. All right, my good people. You know what we say when we signing out, right? It's about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and a whole lot of hair. But remember now, if you ain't got it, you don't want it. You can't stand the hair. You plan on cutting it off. You got some little bald patches and whatever. Hey, y'all, don't worry about that. We done told y'all today, don't worry about that stuff. Why? Because all of that truly is beautiful too. And so are you. Good night, guys. See you guys on Thursday. Sure, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn stuff. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming, get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I did it with Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed it. It's all Yes, we love you too.
What?
Papa me up.
About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that and a bag of chips.